Open with a strong warning. Gold does not scream. It moves quietly before the rest of the world understands what is happening. Most people look at gold and see an old metal, something outdated, something from the past, something their grandparents trusted before the modern financial system became too advanced to fail. But history tells a darker story. Gold often rises when trust begins to disappear. Not trust in one company, not trust in one bank, not trust in one politician, trust in money itself. Every currency crisis begins with denial. Governments say the system is stable. Central banks say inflation is under control. Markets say the panic is exaggerated. The public keeps saving in the same currency because that is what they have always done. But gold starts moving before the official story breaks. Key line: gold is not just an asset. It is the financial system's warning light. Main emotional effect: curiosity and quiet fear. Now move into the historical pattern. Start with ancient Rome. For centuries, Roman money was trusted because it contained real metal. The denarius was not just a coin. It was confidence in physical form. Soldiers accepted it. Merchants trusted it. Families saved it. But empires are expensive. Wars cost money. Armies cost money. Roads, borders, palaces, and politics cost money. And when Rome could no longer raise enough taxes without risking revolt, emperors found the same trick desperate governments always find. They made the money worse. The silver content of the denarius was reduced again and again. At first, people barely noticed. The coin looked the same. The emperor's face was still there. The empire still looked powerful. But the value inside the money was disappearing. Prices rose. Merchants lost trust. Soldiers demanded more pay. Savings weakened. The empire tried to replace value with volume by producing more debased coins. This is the first lesson. When governments cannot afford reality, they change the money. Key line: Rome did not destroy its currency in one day. It shaved away trust one coin at a time. Main emotional effect: historical weight. Now shift to the most dramatic example: Weimar Germany. After World War I, Germany faced impossible debts, reparations, political pressure, and a broken economy. The government needed money it did not have, so it printed. At first, it looked manageable, a temporary measure, a bridge through crisis, a necessary response to extraordinary circumstances. But printing money does not create wealth. It only creates more claims on the same amount of real goods. Then the process accelerated. Prices rose, the mark fell. Workers demanded wages more often because money lost value before they could spend it. Families watched savings built over decades vanish. Pensioners became poor. The middle class was wiped out. And during the collapse, gold told the truth. Paper marks became worthless. Gold did not. Those who understood the warning early preserved purchasing power. Those who trusted the official currency lost everything. This chapter should feel intense and human. Key line: when money dies, it does not destroy everyone equally. It destroys those who trusted it the longest. Main emotional effect: fear and emotional connection. Now return to the present. Today's monetary system looks completely different from Rome or Weimar. Money is digital. Banks are global. Central banks have models. Governments have economists. Markets move at the speed of algorithms. But the old pattern has not disappeared. Debt is rising. Currencies are being printed. Deficits are expanding. Inflation has already damaged purchasing power. Trust in institutions is weaker. Geopolitical tensions are forcing countries to rethink where they store wealth. And quietly, central banks have been increasing their interest in gold. This is the part that should make the viewer pay attention. Central banks do not buy gold because it is fashionable. They do not buy it because it has a good marketing story. They buy it because gold sits outside another country's promise. It cannot be printed. It cannot be frozen as easily as foreign reserves. It does not depend on one government's debt. It does not require trust in a central bank. Key line: when the institutions that create paper money start buying gold, they are telling you something without saying it out loud. Main emotional effect: suspicion and intrigue. Now introduce the deeper mechanism. Gold becomes more important when money stops feeling neutral. For decades, the global financial system depended on trust in major currencies, government bonds, international payment networks, and central bank reserves. But the world is changing. Sanctions showed countries that reserves can be frozen. Inflation showed citizens that purchasing power can disappear. Debt showed investors that governments may never repay in real value. Political division showed markets that even rich countries can become unstable. Wars showed that access to money can become a weapon. This does not mean every currency collapses tomorrow. That is not the point. The point is that governments, central banks, institutions, and wealthy investors begin to hedge before the public fully understands why. They do not need to abandon paper money. They only need to trust it less. And when trust falls, gold becomes attractive again. Use escalation. First, inflation eats savings. Then, debt grows faster than income. Then, governments borrow more. Then, central banks face impossible choices. Then, countries diversify reserves. Then, gold stops looking outdated and starts looking necessary. Key line: gold does not rise because the world is ending. It rises because trust is becoming expensive. Main emotional effect: revelation and tension. The final chapter should deliver the big warning. Gold is not predicting the end of civilization. It is warning that the current money system may be under stress. That distinction matters. A currency does not have to go to zero to lose trust. A government does not have to default openly to reduce debt. A central bank does not have to admit failure for purchasing power to erode. A financial system does not have to collapse overnight to become less safe. It only has to become less believable. That is when gold begins to matter again. Not because gold is magical. Not because gold solves every problem. Not because everyone should panic. But because gold has no central bank, no election cycle, no debt ceiling, no printing press, and no promise attached to it. It simply sits there while paper systems test the limits of trust. End with a strong closing line. Gold is not sending a message of wealth. It is sending a message of warning. Every currency crisis begins with people believing the system can survive anything. And every time, gold starts whispering the truth before the money admits it is broken. Main emotional effect: serious, memorable, slightly chilling.